Hello, I'm Kyle Winter, and this is my nutrition assignment resub. Win 16003628. So we'll begin with vitamins. Vitamins. This help regulates the metabolic process to help break down things. It also supports growth. It supports the immune system and the nervous system, and it sometimes or produces some hormones. So there's two types of vitamins. There's water soluble and fat soluble. Vitamin A is fat soluble. Vitamin D is fat soluble. Vitamin E is fat soluble, and vitamin K is fat soluble. Whereas vitamin B and C are water soluble. The water soluble vitamins are stored in the adipose tissue, and the fat solubles can be excreted through urine and is digested and broken in the fat cells, whereas the water soluble is digested and broken down in the stomach. Vitamin A helps us see and is, like I said, a fat soluble, and its recommended daily allowance is 0.7 mg, so milligrams, and its function is it's good for sight and healthy skin. The source you can get it from is dark green vegetables and carrots, but the deficiency is reduced night sight and dry, rough skin if you have a deficiency in this vitamin. Vitamin B is water soluble. Its function is energy production, and the source for this is eating meat, milk, and drinking milk and eating vegetables. Again, the deficiency is a loss of appetite and an increased in muscle cramps, and the daily allowance for this is 40 milligrams or mg. Vitamin C is also water soluble. The function of this is part of the immune system, so it helps our immune system. Sources to help this is fruit like oranges, and the deficiency of not having enough fruit like oranges is scurvy, bleeding from the gums. And the recommended daily allowance is 1 milligram. Vitamin D, this is a fat soluble. This strengthens bones and assists with muscle contraction and assists with calcium absorption. Sources to help is like egg yolk and liver, and even the sun. The deficiency of not having enough vitamin D is weak bones. Vitamin E, 4 milligrams. It's a fat soluble. Its function is protects the cell walls, and the source is from nuts and seeds. And the deficiency is nerve abnormalities. So it's abnormal, so not right. And then that is 4 milligrams again, 4 mg. Vitamin K, this is a fat soluble. It assists in blood clotting to help. The sources you get this from is milk and cabbage, and deficiency of this is a defective blood clotting, and the daily allowance is 0.001 mg. Requirements for these certain vitamins is affected by age, sex, and state of health. So it depends if you're a boy or a girl or how old you are, the amount you specifically need. Minerals. So there's a few minerals. There is zinc, calcium, potassium, sodium, magnesium, and iron, all important for your body. We'll start off with zinc. So 12 to 20 milligrams a day. This type is a trace mineral, so it's quite small. The function, it assists in carbon dioxide transport. You can get zinc from cheese, but the deficiency of not having enough zinc is reduced respiration, so breathing in and out. The next mineral is calcium. This is a 1200 mg, so it's a macro mineral, so it's large. The function is help muscle contraction and bone formation. the source is milk, and the deficiency of not having enough of calcium is loss of muscle contraction and weak bones, which not many sporting athletes would want. Next is potassium, 1 gram, so that's a macro mineral as well. It helps nerve impulses. The source is a banana, and an example of a source is a banana. And this reduces coordination, so this will be bad for like your tennis players and things like that. Sodium is the next one. This is again macro mineral. 5 to 10 grams, again very large. The function is water balance, so it helps water balance within your body. The source for this is table salt, and the deficiency for this is dehydration. So if you're not intaking enough water, then it will cause dehydration. The next is magnesium, and that's 5 milligrams. So this is a trace, small amount. This helps with your reproductive functions, and the source is peanuts and kidneys. And the deficiency for this is reproductive failure, so having offspring. This could affect the likelihood of you becoming positive. And the last is iron, and this is 18 mg, which is again a trace, a small amount. This helps formation of hemoglobin, and you receive iron from liver and eggs. And the deficiency for not having enough iron in the body is anemia. So now we'll get on to the digestive system. So in the previous one I talked about how absorption and that help affects it. But so the digestion begins in the mouth. The teeth and jaws grind the food to mix it with saliva. The saliva contains amylase, which breaks down starch, which you get from food. The swallowed food passes through the esophagus, which is the next stage in the digestive system. And then this is where peristalsis occurs. This is the process of squeezing food through the esophagus. And the time from the food getting from the esophagus down to the stomach is about 3 to 6 seconds. When it reaches the stomach, it's like a large mixing bowl, and the food is churned into a liquid called chyme within the body. And then the cells in the stomach lining release digestive enzymes and hydrochloric acid to break down the food. This helps digest the food and kill bacteria. This lasts 1 to 4 hours in the stomach. The chyme passes from the stomach to the small intestine via the duodenum. The small intestine is around 6 foot long. This is mixed with more digestive juices from the pancreas. Pancreatic juices are made in the liver and contains bile and digestive enzymes. Carbs, fats, and proteins are all broken down in this. Concentrated bile is stored by the gallbladder, and then the villi line the wall of the small intestine, and the vitamins, minerals, amino acids, and sugars are all absorbed by the intestine or wall. When the chyme reaches the large intestine, it's mostly fluid and indigestible matter. This does not produce any digestive enzymes, and then the indigestible matter, which has no nutrients, which is useful for the body, also known as feces, is passed through the rectum and excreted from the anus. And as it says, digestion is a multi-stage process. It's one of the biggest processes within our body. It breaks down large chemical compounds done by enzymes in the gut, such as amylase. And yeah, so this is my nutrition resub, and I hope I've passed the criteria what I needed to do.